afternoon. Today is the 3rd of August and it's time for yet another not particularly interesting, very vague and really quite boring vlog. I am aware, by the way, that interior light behind me is on. I think it's a fault of this particular car, which is weird. But why am I driving this car? This is a 2005 MG ZTT 190. It's owned by a friend of mine called Dan. Now, I don't think it's appeared on my channel before, apart from in some shambolic shuffles, but what I wanted to do was to have an appropriate car for the post-Abingdon weekender, incorporating MG 100 and Rover 120. Those are the anniversaries that those models are celebrating this year. And obviously having a Volvo, that's not really appropriate. I did ask Max at Discount Luxury Rover Spares, who lent me the MGF for the BMC Lane show. A lot of you would have seen the video that I've made about that car. The review of that will be on the channel at some point as well, if you haven't already seen it. I'm not going to review this particular car because I have not only reviewed a ZTT 190 before, back in 2019 I think it was, but also I've just reviewed, although I don't know what it will be on the channel, a 2004 MG ZT 190 Plus, the saloon version of this, not ZTT ZT. So I don't particularly feel that we need to review this in detail, but this is one of several cars that Dan has. It's done 117,000 miles.
Turn left onto Station Road.
We turned to you off, lady. Yeah, so here we are in Broadway. 117,000 miles. It's one of several that he's got in his collection. I think he's got 3 of these actually. They're all slightly different. The one that I've been parking next to is a ZTT 180, which is the automatic model. This is a manual. One thing that I had to do before I
turn left onto
set
Station
off
Road,
in this car yesterday from Bedworth, which is actually just around the corner from Mr. Coleman knows, was have Mr. Coleman look at the gearbox in this, because it's one of the stiffest gearboxes I've ever used. It doesn't centre properly around neutral, so I've also been having problems with the the gear lever falling off, so that wasn't great either. So Mr. Coleman has actually fixed this gear lever so it doesn't fall off. He's also sprayed some of the cables inside the gearbox so that actually it changes a little bit better. It does need some new selector cables, so it's not completely fixed or anything. It's just a lot better than it was, and it made my drive yesterday a lot more enjoyable. Unfortunately, I happened to break one of the key buttons on it, and also I accidentally broke the cap keeper for the fuel cap, but I've told Dan what I've done, and you know, he's
continue on B4632 for 1 mile.
Which is good. So yeah, how does this car drive? Well, apart from the gearbox, engine's fantastic, sounds great. I did do some hard acceleration on the A46 yesterday, and it coped admirably with it. We stayed with the speed limits, of course, viewers, but that was good fun. Yeah, so I switched over to the Volvo. I had a minor problem with the Volvo actually. With 2 indicators, which Mr. Coleman's fixed. So I'll pick that up when I drop this off tomorrow. And someone's actually offered me a Peugeot 309 from the concourse section of Festival Exceptional. So that's good. I'll be having a go in that when I get back and return this car. But yeah, it's been a comfortable thing to drive. I've done maybe sort of 70 to 80 miles in this now, and yeah, it's fine. Everything's working okay apart from the air conditioning, and I don't think the parking sensor's working. There's that light there which is annoying. Headlining is dropping as well, but yeah, it's all
in a quarter of a mile at the roundabout.
Really?
Take the first exit onto A44.
So yes, we'll maybe come back when I actually reach the Piston Club, because me waffling about nothing, which is what very vague vlogs do anyway, it's probably not the most interesting thing. So we shall see you later. Right viewers, so here we are. Fetching shade of Caledonian is the name of this colour. This is a 2005 car. It's one of the kind of last of the MG ZTTs. It's not cosmetically perfect by any means. You've got, as you can see, sort of bits where that strip's coming off and things like that. But it's not too bad for a car that is 19 years old. By the way, the plate says it's a CDTI. It's not. It's a 190, which is a 2.5 V6 petrol. The parking sensors don't quite work. We've got a minor rain or something. Boot's very practical though. See a bit of paint fade there, but it's okay. Yeah, loads of room for whatever it is that you kind of need in your life. These ZTTs or Rover 75 Tourers. I did drive a 75 Tourer last year on no budget reviews. Actually, it was a very, very nice one. You can also open that rear window on its own like a BMW. Obviously, this car was designed under BMW and Rover, so little influences like that there. Obviously, the original 75, not one of these, was designed under BMW. This was all of Rovers worked with ZT. Yeah, it's spacious enough. I always find the rear space in one of these, it isn't quite as good as what you'd imagine. So hats and jackets and things fit nicely in there. This car's actually got a different head unit. It's got this very nice Android one in it, which is quite useful. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, we've got the leather interior. But I think this is a plus model, which means it's got the dual zone climate control. It's actually got cruise control as well, which sometimes works. Got powerful mirrors in this as well, which is nice. It's quite comfortable. It's quite a comfortable car to be driving around. It's far more comfortable than the MGF. Fortunately, it's got a scuff on the bumper. I don't know how that happened. It wasn't me. Yeah, I mean, Dan, who owns this car, he's got several of these. He's got a V8 one as well, and this just happens to be the one that he had available for the event for me. And the coverage of the event, you'll see it's parked next to one of the other ones, which is a similar one to this, but a 180, which is the automatic version. So if we get in here, see, we've actually got the cruise control buttons on here, which is good. Put the key in. I'll show you this Pioneer head unit. So yeah, the selector cables have been slightly lubricated or something like that to just improve them. There's the Pioneer head unit. There's another helicopter. It's annoying. Blue dial's actually at night. You can't quite see it at the moment. But there we go. There's the head unit, which is good. There's the dual zone climate control, and you know, general sort of turn that right down. I love Sean Foyt, but he's going to have to be muted at the moment because we don't want any copyright infringement on this channel, viewers. So yeah, the standard sort of Rover 75 stroke ZT stuff, obviously a lot more toned down in terms of the wood and the sort of old world kind of look compared with a 75. I don't know what's up to with that rear light. It seems to sort of kind of be on when you're driving up there, which is strange. But yeah, I suppose I might as well show you the cup holder. And this car's actually been modified with two cup holders, because usually you just get the one on the left, but this has got both of them. It's got one from a right, sort of left-hand drive model in it as well, which is superb. There we go. Yeah, you can put things in here if you want to. Actually got an aux in from the previous sort of stereo it's had, which is good. I suppose you better look under the bonnet since we're here. I always forget just how cramped these KB6s are underneath the bonnet of a 75 or a ZT. You can see there's not a lot of room. The crash structure on these is a lot better than, say, a ZS. It's one of the reasons why it's so cramped in here. And at the back, it's very hard to get to the spark plugs without so-called spy hole modification. But yeah, there it is. 2.5 V6 generating about 190 horsepower. I think actually 187 if you're looking at the BHP figure. 190 is a sort of PS figure. And yeah, the hands are slightly cloudy. It just happens on a lot of the, say, such as ZTs and 75s. Right, I think that's most of what you need to see for one of these. Obviously we've had no budget episode on a very similar car recently, albeit the saloon model. I think we better get back to Toddington and leave these people who have got a JDM sort of thing going on here to it. So what's this car like sort of overall, really, given that this isn't really a review, it's just a very vague vlog and kind of just brief thoughts on it? Well, it's very comfortable, very, very comfortable. When they designed the 75, they certainly spent a long time looking at the ergonomics, and actually the controls are well situated. This Android type system in here is excellent, actually. Once I could work out how to use it with my phone in terms of the Bluetooth, the wire connection worked straight away. Once this gearbox was improved by Mr. Coleman, road mechanic, it's a lot better, and yes, you could cover some real distance in this. I mean, the biggest problem is the fuel gauge moving, which of course would be even worse if this was a ZT260 V8. But yeah, steering is good. I think the standard setup for the ZTs is a really good compromise. You can obviously go firmer on this, but the 75s I just find a little bit soft, a little bit wallowy. Ideally what I would have, if I had one of these cars, I probably wouldn't have, because Mr. Coleman doesn't like working on these, so he sort of, you know, has basically poo-pooed my chance of ever actually buying one of these, because he doesn't really want to work on them. I'd have a 75 but with ZT suspension, I think. I'm just not so much a fan of these more extrovert looks on these cars. Obviously a lot of people are. I think, you know, these days people prefer the ZTs to the 75s to some extent. But yeah, the ride is a little bit too kind of soft. It rolls too much for me in the 75. This is a very, very good setup. It's not too firm at all. A lot of contemporary reviews say the ZTs are quite firm, but in comparison with a lot of modern cars, they're just not. They are a very, very good compromise. The steering is good. The handling is good. The seats are very good. I just wish this was a little bit sort of more kind of wooden leather, you know, than it is. It's funny how they managed to create two cars with very sort of different characters, and there's a lot of people who used to buy them very different as well. But there we go. So yes, I think, you know, it's been an enjoyable experience driving around in this ZTT 190, and tomorrow I'll have to give it back and go in the Volvo that's been fixed. And no, it's not a hardship or anything, but you know, it's just been a bit of fun. Anyway, I think that's quite enough of this very vague vlog. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below. Thank you to Dan once again for letting me have a go in the car, and Mr. Coleman for just making some very minor improvements to it, well, for both of us to enjoy actually. And we shall see you again soon for some more not particularly interesting and probably quite vague music.